All right. So let me. Hey Beth, always a pleasure. Banners. All right. All right. Let's get back to our game. And like I said, I'm actually going to kind of cheat just a little bit. We're going to go back on the Nintendo X Retro Lizard XL. We're going to go down to PlayStation 2, Dark Cloud. There we go. And I'm going to cheat a little bit instead of talking to each person. I went back and found my old layout that I had written down. And it's going to tell us where everything needs to go to get the special event for this level. And I'm not going to ruin it for you and tell you what the special event is in advance. You can watch it happen with me. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I'm going to basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up everything and put it back down where it needs to go. Let's load it up. Mr. Cleese. Hey, it is my favorite game. Lala. Hey, sweetie. All right. So we're going to just do the whole layout real quick, which means we're going to pick up everything. Right? Move, remove. Remove the square. We're going to pick up all the houses. And then I'm going to drop everything where it needs to be to 100% this area. All right. Now let's start. Let's go to configure assembly. And we're going to start with, let's start with Allnet's house. And all right. Then we're going to go with Claude's house, which we're going to put right here. Check. Right there. Let's see what we're going to do next. I have a map I've drawn. Paige's house. Oh, we could do the Hag's house. Now let's do Paige's house next. Yeah. And so we're going to put Paige's house right here. And right next to Paige's house is where we need to put the pond because her little brother likes to watch you fish. So let's scroll down and get the pond. And we will put the pond here. Let's move. Check. Yep. Next up, Laura's house. And pretty much right here. Now we need Macho's house here. Macho's house here. We're going to do Dran's windmill since it's his cave. We're going to put his windmill right next to the cave entrance. It seems apropos. Now, I'd like to put my house right by the gate over here. And my mother wants she wants yes. Yeah, right there. So that she can have the sunrise come through this window here. That's what she wanted. I do remember that specifically. What do we have left? The hag's house, which we are going to put right here. And we're going to put the gaffer buggy right next to it. And then, yep, right there. And so, we have some windmills. Let's drop one here. Let's windmill number 2. Can't put it there. Put it here. Sure. And we have plenty of space. Oh, look. We could put the little windmill right next to Dran's. And pond, trees. Pond and trees. Oh, dude, I love the demon shaft. That sounds weird. I'm not gonna do 100%, but you got 100% the villages to get the special events, right? Let's put some river in. And that's all of my Oh, what's up, Dylan?
What's up, Bill? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's a that was a little loud in my ear. I had to turn down a little bit. So
Sorry.
I'm putting together the village so that I can go ahead and get the 100% on the village. And because if you complete a village, it gives you a special, basically.
Okay.
I know what it is for this level, but I don't want to ruin the surprise, so I'm not
Oh,
gonna just yet.
okay.
All right. So I'm finished putting everything together. Everybody has a special request, and so if you put everything together according to everyone's request, uh, then you get the special for that village. And I actually whipped out one of my old maps in order to do that
Hmm.
instead of taking the time to go and talk to each person. Putting in my roads, and that's all of my road. That's fine. I think all I have left to drop is some trees and you know, just drop some random trees. And okay, I think that's everything. Now, when that if I remember right, it should be correct. So yes, this game has some sim building elements to it.
Oh, and then you walk. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh. I don't think I placed everything properly. All right. Now I'm actually gonna have to talk to people. Ah. Just get me some free stuff here. All right.
Isn't that
So,
PlayStation 2?
how should I rebuild the town? Yeah.
He's tough.
So he wanted me close to the cave entrance. I got him. That's cool. And that's his extra room with his punching bag. All right. So we got Macho's house. And we'll just go house by house and ask people. Well, we got to ask his brother, Camacho. Yeah. They wanted to be by the cave. Okay. Got him. So now we're going to go to whose house is this? I don't fucking remember. Get that bread. And if you're watching right now, oh, Fruit of Eden, nice. They're not inside. If you're watching right now, my buddy on stream is the abhorrent enigma Dylan,
Hello, hello.
who has joined the N64 Players and Collectors podcast, which is really awesome. How does this emulation run on the whole? So this is on my Nintendo X Retro Lizard XL. It runs really well because I build my stuff not on RetroPies or anything like that, but on mini PCs. I do have a RetroPie build, but it can't run PS2. But this build here, that's on the bottom of the screen, it's on my website. It has OG Xbox. It has GameCube, PS2, PS1, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn. So, okay, so they're good. Let's go talk to the gaffer. Okay, he's good. Let's go talk to the old hag and see what she got to say. So, Dylan, what are you up to today, buddy?
Oh, I was goofing around with my PlayStation 2. I was actually playing Stuntman for the first time. A buddy of mine bought it for me. He's like, "Oh, dude, I remember this game." I was like, "All right," and I'm playing. I'm like, I can see it.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
He got busy reading.
Yeah, I was reading. I was reading. It's her house that's not in the right place.
No, I've been playing Stuntman on the PlayStation 2. A buddy of mine bought it for me probably a couple of months now.
Uh-huh.
One of those oddball games. I was like, "Oh, you think of anything good?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then we went there. It was like $4. He's like, "Dude, play it." That's pretty much been my entire morning.
I think that's gonna fix it. So Stuntman 2. I always thought that was an okay game. Not one of my favorites, but fuck, man, just because it's not one of my favorites doesn't mean it's not somebody else's, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those games you kind of have to like racing games, essentially. If that makes sense. And I'm not big on the racing.
Yeah,
Scene.
neither am I. Good. Oh, maybe the trees are in the way. Maybe I got to move those trees. Yeah, I'm not a big racing game guy. You know what racing game I really like?
What, Mario Kart?
Yeah, actually, it is a Mario Kart.
It is. Oh.
Double Dash.
I guess it says either gonna be Double Dash or DS. Those are like the two that I remember very, very well.
Double Dash is the best, bro.
I've
Got it. Boom. There we go. Let's get this special event.
Okay. I've never even heard of this game. Like I read some of it and I was watched some of your other streams. And I was like,
Yeah.
What is that? Looks like the thing from Avatar drawn by like a 4-year-old.
Come on. This is very early PS2. Very early PS2. But this is made by Level 5, so shut your mouth. Are you familiar with the Level 5 game?
I to be honest with you, I know they exist, and that is the extent.
All right. So while you're talking to me, feel free to Google Level 5 games. Dude, and you know what? Mysticles, you said that PlayStation called this the Zelda killer. And to be honest, I always felt that it was very much a Zelda-like game. And it gets listed occasionally on lists of Zelda clones. But I don't think it's a Zelda killer, but man, it has a definite Zelda feel to it. If you could change up a couple things and make it a Zelda game. But anyway, Dylan, if you look up Level 5, you're going to find Rogue Galaxy. You're going to find all the Professor Layton games. You're going to find Nonini Kuni, which is an awesome game. Who the art on that game was done by Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, I didn't realize they made this much stuff.
Yeah. I think this was their first major project. It's a banger, though. So the special event that I get is a more powerful sword attack. It's the windmill slash. I think Level 5 is one of the most underrated development companies. Absolutely.
I always wanted to play this game. I didn't even know they made this.
What's that?
The Nizami 11 Strikers, that sports soccer game for the Wii. It just had weird art. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right, so guess what? We are leaving Norune Village to head to the Wise Owl Forest now. Let's fucking go. Bloop. We're on to the next level. I probably should have loaded up at the Gaffer. So we're going to Mataki Village. And the dungeon for this one is called the Wise Owl Forest. Basically, it's a reskinned version of the other dungeon, which they all are for the most part. just reskins, but they're random layout dungeons. Oh, yeah, Mysticles, I will do a seventh heaven, without a doubt. I don't know if you've jumped on one of these streams before and heard me talk about it, Dylan. The great thing about this game, since you said you watched a stream or two, is you get to build up your swords. That's how you get stronger, is your weapons, right?
Okay.
And your swords can get powerful enough to become other swords. The seventh heaven is one of the strongest swords. The strongest sword is, I believe it was called Dark Chronicle 2, and you get that for completing the Demon Shaft. After you complete the game, there is 100 level dungeon called the Demon Shaft, and you get the sword for completing it.
That's a horrible name.
Don't do it.
So it just drops in. That's all they hear.
Yeah, I think my main sword. So we got to go talk to the tree, and the tree is. I'm trying to remember. That's the Wise Owl Forest. The tree is here. Am I right? Yes, he's back here. Except he's all dried out because you see there's no water, and I don't think he can talk just yet. You gotta get him some water first. Treant. Oh, where the fuck this dude come from? Brother homie?
He's just Batman and just.
Yep. Oh, you love the fishing? I never really care for the fishing. I do the fishing that I need to do, but that's about it. Fishing pole is always one of my first things that go in storage. That and the guide, and I don't really need it that much. The Atla are the little balls in the dungeon that contain pieces to the village. All right. Make the river your priority. Yeah, and we're going to pick up a new companion in this village also. We already have Chow, the cat girl. I think we pick up the great hunter's son here, Goro. Every village you pick up a new character in, a new person to add to your party, and adding people to your party is super simple. You get really used to being able to use other. Come on, why is it not? Duh. Wait, am I in the right place? Is that how I get to the Wise Owl Forest? No, that is. Maybe. Watch me go out the wrong way. Yep, I went out the wrong gate. So it's going to bring me right back where I was. And it was that other gate. I don't have my barons on this level yet. I'm getting them right now, though. Over here.
Oh, so will this eventually become a village?
Yes.
Okay. So that's how you complete the river. Gotcha.
Yes. You get pieces. Now we're going to the Wise Owl Forest. Now, they have the 7 dwarves in the forest, and some of the dwarves I hate because they're real bouncy. You can't get to them real easy. Let's make sure we're equipped properly. I like to have up in the top. Oh, with this one, remember on the first level how you had to get the Dran's crest to open the next level? So on this one, instead of just a key, you have to collect 3 different objects and present them one at a time to the owl at the end of the board, who will then open the next level for you. I think there's a red berry, a shiny stone, and something else. See? I'm already poisoned.
Are they all named after days of the week?
Yes. All right, let's put a anti-poison amulet up there so I don't get poisoned again. We'll get rid of the bomb. I'm not real big on keeping active items up there to begin with. I like emergency items up there. Anti-poison amulet. The black bag with the cross on it automatically revives you if you accidentally die. And the green bag saves your weapon if you accidentally break it. Because once you break a weapon in this game, it's fucking gone. Gonna get turned around in here for a minute, probably. And there is, oh, you know what? Fucking plants. Let's switch to the cat girl. So we could, if you get too close, they'll get you.
I feel like this fixes a lot of the problems I had with Zelda.
What's that?
Just
That you could,
yeah, that you have different people you could switch between.
Yeah, with different abilities.
Yeah, you have like more of an inventory. Like in Zelda, it's kind of. I know you're going to be like, no, it's not. There's like 5 items.
Yeah, Zelda definitely has a limited inventory. So with this inventory, you gotta kind of be creative. So with Zelda, you can get say in Ocarina of Time, you can get a certain amount of bottles and choose what potions go in there, right?
Right.
Or if you put fairies in it or whatever. But that's it. With this, you have all of that same stuff, but you don't have to have a bottle just for it. And you decide how you want to stack your inventory. And your inventory's as big as you are along in the game. You know? So your inventory keeps growing. So as you get further in the game, you get more and more inventory. So it's pretty cool. The plants also throw clouds of goo at you, like the whales do in the first level. You son of a... Didn't I just get a water? All right. Pointy chestnut is one of the 3 items. So we're going to get some water, eat some bread. I need to rush through this level because of the whole water bullshit. But you don't ever know what monsters have the keys to the next level.
So you just have to hunt them.
Yeah. Like I can attempt to open the next level. It might be the chestnut. It might be the shiny crystal. So I'm going to... Oh, shit. Yeah. Refill your health and energy. Go this way. Nope, not that way. This way. And I see we're going to have to change into chop. Nope. I don't step on those. So this is what you do for this level. All right. So I'm going to give him that chestnut. Nope, it's not what he wants. So it's one of the other two objects. Now, see, my guy can't jump this. So, but the cat girl can.
Okay.
And she can't open these. She can open treasure chests, but not these. Your mom knows what's up, LaShawn. Tell your mom I said hi. Ask her how she's doing. Oh, good Lord. I only been on here half an hour. I already got to pee. You know why? Because it's the morning time. And in the mornings is when I take my blood pressure medicine. And it's got a diuretic in it. And it makes me have to go pee like a lot during the early day. Oh, come here. So this dungeon is actually my favorite one. And the reason is one of the backboards on this dungeon has werewolves. And werewolves give you the most XP. And so you can keep going back and forth and grinding and filling up your weapons. Oh, there it is. No, where'd the cannibal plant go? There it is. Oh, now she's thirsty? God. Money. All right. We're moving on. So Dylan, what do you, next week is going to be your first week on the podcast, right?
I believe so.
Nice. You looking forward to it?
Oh yeah. I am definitely looking forward to it.
Craig and Jordan are super cool guys. What that thieving motherfucker. Now, uh-oh. I'm about to die. Let's get her some water also. Axe murdering bastard. Let's upgrade her weapon before we kill him, because if we don't, then his XP is lost and you don't get anything for it.
What is the next episode? Star Wars?
Yes.
All right.
Shadows of the Empire.
The game where I get to the sewer and then just forget how to play.
Yeah. It is probably one of my favorite games on Nintendo 64.
I will say it's my favorite Star Wars game. I don't know. Pod Racer's good.
Yeah, Pod Racer's okay, but I mean, I'll save it for the podcast. But there's a definite reason that Shadows is my favorite, and because it's not a one-trick pony.
Yeah, it's that like rogue squadron. Like you got multiple.
There's so many different types of gameplay available in that game. It's one of my favorite things about it. Of all the Star Wars games on Nintendo 64, you have more variety in Shadows of the Empire than any other.
And all the other ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
I mean, you get your little bit of there's got to be more monsters than just this one guy. Yep. Because that one I missed way back, there's the shiny stone. So maybe I need to go get the shiny stone. Maybe I don't. We're going to find out right now. I got to get off this fucking level.
You're thirsty.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Wait. There it is. Damn it. So let's see if I'm going to definitely have to go find the last guy. Yep. Gotta go find that last monster. So let's go get this water. Oh, shit. I don't step on the circles. It's gambling. They could do good. Yeah, they could do good or bad for you. You never know. Up, it's a plant. Okay. So he's going to have the last item. And that's what's going to determine that the one that the owl wants to go to the next level. So we can get the fudge out of here. There it is. Red berry. Yeah. So if Dylan, do you have a PlayStation 4?
I do. PlayStation 4. I have one. It caught on fire.
All right, I'm gonna pause this for a second because I'm about to piss my pants, but I'll be right back. All right, talk to the people, Dylan. Just make stuff up.
I will talk to the people. I'll tell them the PlayStation 4 story.
Okay.
So I played like Rainbow Six, like not competitively, but I played with like practice for pro teams. So like I had it was plugged in. I was playing, and I just remember like sitting there, and be like sniffing. I was like, man, something's burning in the house, like that electronic burn. So like I paused my game, I walked out, and like I was walking around, I was like smelling around. I was like, I don't know where this is at. And like I walked back, and I just like happened to see you got that power brick, and I just like look at this power brick, and it's just kind of like smoldering. I'm like, oh no. So like I ran up, like I unplugged it, like people were messaging me like, where are you at in the match? I was like, I don't know how to explain this, but the PlayStation 4 burned. Like I still have the PlayStation 4. It's actually right here. Like it's right here. It's fine, but the power supply burnt. And so like I got a new one, and then it sat at a comic book shop, and it was the Dragon Ball Z fighting machine for the longest time. But I've never plugged it back in because I'm always afraid of this thing just burning my house down. But yeah, it was so weird. I've never had that. Like I've had systems out the wazoo, and I've never had one do that. And it's kind of turned me off from PlayStations, just period. Though the PlayStation 5 looks really nice compared to the Xbox.
Boom!
And he's back, relieved.
Yes, very relieved, man. So funny thing is, like, I'm not a streamer. I'm just learning how to stream and keep a conversation going while I'm doing it. You know? And now I'm like, hey, Dylan, get in the mix with me. Jump on here with me. So now I'm like talking to the chat. I'm talking to you. I'm playing the game.
I'm so silent because like this game is so. It looks like a really late PlayStation 1 game because it's a really early PlayStation 2 game.
Mm-hmm.
But and if I'm on the podcast for any of the Zelda episodes, I'm going to start a riot on there. But it has the look of the later Zelda games that I did like before they went to the like whole open world thing with like Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. It kind of looks like Twilight Princess to me.
Yeah, it's got a little more.
It's got more
vibe to it.
It's got more color. It's got just generally more action. Like I don't know it, but I just keep getting quiet because like I'm looking at it. This game's actually pretty.
Yeah,
I don't say that for a lot of PlayStation 2 games.
Also, I don't know why I didn't hear the story, but you can get this from the PlayStation Store on PS4. There's a HD version of it. So, all cleaned up, upscaled, whatever. Never played it.
Yeah, Tabby, like my friend has the Xbox. My issue with like the last 2 generations of Xboxes after the 360 is it's the exact same system. Like the interface is the interface I don't like. But like he has it, so like I end up playing it and it's an Xbox. I mean, you have Halo and all that.
Right.
Like PlayStation 4 has it looks better. Like you have Spider-Man, which to me looks really good. Like Xbox lost all of its unique titles to me. Like there's not really Halos anymore. They dropped the ball with Infinite.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And there's nothing there. I guess what was the last was the last Dead Island Xbox exclusive? Was it Dead Island or
I don't even know.
Whatever it was.
Oh, I just bit my lip.
First injury on stream.
Yeah. So the Sundew that I just picked up, that's how you get to the backboard on this level. Basically, you get on this little boat dock right here and you turn a leaf into a boat. We'll go there after we destroy everything on this board. We'll go check it out. So my opinion of PlayStation versus Xbox, to be honest, is I really saw PS3 and 4. I mean, PS3 and Xbox 360 as equivalents. But that's right when Xbox started something that I'm not really in. I take it you can hear my dogs.
Very faintly.
Yeah. That's right when Xbox decided, hey, we're going to do less exclusive titles and be kind of a AAA machine, you know? Like, so it started losing its appeal. I think it got really heavy with Xbox One. All my kids play Xbox One, and I don't get it because why play Xbox One when almost all of their games you can get on another console, plus that console's exclusives, you know?
Yeah, like Game Pass and everything works on the PC.
I think Game Pass is the only thing holding up Xbox, to be honest.
Man, it is terrible from what I've heard, like from like developers talking about it. Like the way it's set up is like they pay you based on how many games you think your game will sell.
Right.
So if you only think you're going to do 50,000 copies, they're only going to pay you 50,000 copies, and you end up dropping a banger and you get 1 million downloads, you're getting paid for 50,000 copies. It's rough. Like you got to hope that you have a good game to make that, but not good enough that you don't sell more than that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I learned that, and I was like, wow, that's. I think it was one of the developers for Phasmophobia talked about it.
Look, we're all the way back at the beginning. Hey, you son of a bitch. Stop stabbing me. Oh, gotta repair my weapon.
Are these supposed to be acorns or just some unknown thing?
What, this ball?
Yeah.
It's called an Atla.
Oh, that's the thing. Okay, that's what you're talking about. I remember
Well,
that thing.
it's crazy you can hear my dogs faintly because my dogs usually ain't faintly, dude. Sometimes when me and Mike are recording for that podcast, the dogs start going crazy, and Mike's like, I can't even hear you. All I hear is the dogs. Because my studio is right under the living room, and my wife is generally in the living room playing with the dogs.
My stuff's in the loft above the living room, so it'll be dead quiet, and then one dog's like, "Oh, it's too quiet. Let me fight the other one." I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah, we got one dog that just loves to howl out of nowhere. She's got the most piercing bark, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's the pit bull. And she's like, it's just for no reason at every little thing. Well, not much left on this level. 3 monsters. Dylan, did you watch the boss fight yesterday with Dran from the first level?
I I did. I started watching that one. I started watching that one, and the one with you're in the cave with the things that look like meatballs. Uh, you kept like dashing around the corner. I did not. Actually got moderately busy yesterday with work.
Yeah, that happens.
It was like I run 2 locations. I manage 2 locations, and we're like closing one. So like we were taking one apart. So I had like playing in the background, and it was just like everybody in a 4 mile radius. Like, oh, let's go do an escape room. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
I love escape rooms, man. Wait, is that what you do?
that's my part time job. Yeah, I manage them. I
Where
manage
at?
two,
Where at?
two in Austin.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm not
yeah,
in Austin, you jerk. But if I was, I'd come.
yeah,
So,
it's cool, but it's the best part of the job is watching people. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah.
because you know the answers, so you just watch them slowly like digress further and further and further from the truth.
Yeah, when they get off on a weird tangent and it completely screws them.
Yeah, and then one person has the answer, but nobody listens to them.
What's all right? We're gonna interview you right now.
Uh-huh.
All right. What is the craziest thing you ever saw happen in an escape room?
I have 3.
Okay.
I
Let's hear it.
had a dude have a heart attack.
Oh, was it that hard?
It was like he didn't have like a bad one by no means. I mean, all heart attacks are bad, but like
Right.
in like I just like I'm watching him walk out of the room, and I just watch him like slowly start going down. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
And so like he slowly starts going down, and like I ran in there, like I kind of caught him, and like the people didn't know because they're in the other room, they can't see him. Like I get their attention, like ambulance shows up, picking this dude up, and the ambulance guy's like, "Yeah, this is a new one. I never picked up a dude from an escape room before. Like, I hope you never do it again because the thing's not built for them to come into. Like,
Right.
they can't get like all their stuff in. So like he could get up, like they get him on, they get him out. Like right at this time, the next group's coming in. They're like, "Oh, is it serious?" I'm like, "No." But yeah, that dude was like the family was super cool. Like they left. They only put one person in the ambulance, so it was like a grandpa with his daughter and then his grandchildren. So like she went with him in the ambulance, and like the husband came to pick up the girls, so they're just sitting there like almost crying. And I'm like, I mean, y'all can come watch these other people. Maybe it'll make you feel better. Like, I don't know what to do with y'all. I had that. I had a dude break up with his girlfriend in the escape room and then leave her there.
What?
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 couples. I don't remember. I'll watch it through the camera. And she's just like, there had to have been something that happened before this.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just constantly like just poking at this dude, like poking the bear, poking the bear, poking the bear.
Right.
Like everything. She's like, no, that's stupid, or you're stupid, or that's not the answer. That should be what you're doing. And
so she was being kind of rough on him.
Yeah, and like finally I just see this dude snap. And he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm not dealing with this, blah, blah, blah. I'm leaving. And she's like trying to block him like from leaving the door. Like she's starting to cry. She's like, no, don't. She's like, I'm not. He goes, no. He's like, fuck this shit. I'm done. And leaves. So I thought he just walked out of the room. But then like from my control room, I could see down this hallway. Like I see him walk by, walk outside, get in his car and leave.
So he's
just done. He's just gone. All right, so like, there's the other couples, and then this. I just read card lucky guy. Yes, but you don't do that. And so like, I see her just down there crying, like her friends like consoling her, and I was like, oh my god, what is she gonna do for Ryan? Like her friends like they leave, and like another dude comes up, and all the girls leave, and one of the dudes comes and goes, hey, can we finish the room? I'm like. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop you. Like, if they come back, they can finish. Like, no, I don't think they're coming back.
no.
So like the 3 guys that are left in there finish the room, and they're like, man, we're sorry about all that. I'm like, I don't think you should be sorry. That was like watching a soap opera from the control room. But yeah, like I had that, and I had a fight break out.
Really?
They broke a door. Oh, they didn't break it. They broke it, like kind of mopped it off the hinges. I was able to put it back. But yeah, they got like a full like confrontation between 2 friends. Well, friends.
Now, was the fight over the escape room, or was it over something else?
I don't know. So the way the camera system in one location works is I can see all the rooms at one time, but I can only listen to one room at a time.
So you didn't hear it when it started.
Yeah, and I was running multiple rooms. So like I clicked over to another room and like made the camera bigger so I could see what they were doing, so I could help them. And this room is actually below my control room. So it's an old house. You got like both levels are ground level. It's built on the side of a hill. So I could hear something happen below me. So like I click back over to that camera, and it's these 2 girls' boyfriends like are like shoving each other around in the room. They kind of knocked this door that I just fixed, like back off of it. It's like a pocket door, like back off of the rail. And I'm like, oh god. Like they kind of like the girls kind of break them up. And like I head down there. I was like, listen, I'm gonna have to ask y'all to leave, or I'm gonna have to call the cops. I was like, if y'all leave now, like nothing's gonna happen. They're like, yeah, we'll go. Like, I'm just looking at this door. It's like, great. Now I got to refix this door. I haven't fixed that door. I've never put it back the way it needs to be. That door's been the bane of my existence. And they left. So like, it's probably the 3 craziest things. I think the heart attack was my number 1, but the breakup was like, I didn't know what to say. I'm just like, yeah, y'all can finish.
I mean, what can you say?
I was more in shock that he left her there. Like if they weren't there, like would he have left her and just like I just have to like hang out with her, be like, oh, I'm sorry, what happened? Whatever your name is.
Sorry, Jim.
Yeah, like. And I don't know anything else. Like this group's never came back because I can usually kind of remember people. So like I could get more information. Like they've never come back, and I'm like, like the booking system like remembers people's names. So if they book again, it'll be like, hey, these people rebook. That name's
Mhm.
never came back up. I'm just like, ah, like I need more information. Like, did they get back together? Like, I hope not, but did they get back together? No, Chrono, surprisingly, they've had drunk people before I started there. So in Austin, I'm sure some of y'all are familiar. There's a place called 6th Street. It's like the big party. One of our escape rooms, the one that's closing, is actually like 3 streets down from it. And when South by Southwest was going on, they had a fee that if you threw up in the room and one of the employees had to clean it, you had to pay that employee $100.
That's fair.
It was in the waiver. But I never had to deal with it. I've had drunk people, but nothing enough that like it's a major story. Like I've had them like trip over things. I've had like one guy fall down the stairs. He made it down like 3 stairs and then just like shook the rest of the way down to get to the bottom and just laid there. But
so I've heard stories on Reddit of crazy stuff in escape rooms. You ever catch anybody having sex in an escape room?
I knew that question was coming.
Because it's known to happen.
It is. It is. So
I don't know how common it is, but apparently several escape rooms have stories of this.
It's common enough that it's in our handbook on how to deal with that situation.
Mm-hmm. Please tell me the way to deal with it in the handbook is a sprinkler system.
No. So the situation is you don't have to go in there just straight up like call law enforcement because it falls under public
sex in public.
Yeah. And so like you don't have to. Now I would at least have the courtesy of like clicking on the radio and be like, hey, y'all need to leave before the cops show up.
Right.
But I can also understand like most employees that work there are female. So
yeah,
I can understand them not wanting to deal with it. I totally get it.
Absolutely.
And if I was there as the manager, if like I was physically there on site with them, I would deal with it. I'd be like, hey, don't worry about it. But yeah, I've had some situations that came close to that. I could tell, but it's never. We've had like situations of like, as much as I can digress, I've had situations of like employees being uncomfortable with people like hitting on them.
Right.
And I just started looking back at the stream and I just saw this mushroom with arms and legs.
What?
I just saw the mushroom with arms and legs. I just looked back at the stream. I was so busy telling that story.
And you know what the mushroom's name is? Fifi. Do you know what a Fifi is, Dylan?
I don't. Enlighten me.
It's a homemade fleshlight in prison.
Oh, no.
See, what you would do is you would take 2 sponges in a cup, right? And then a rubber glove inside the cup and fold it over the outside of the cup. And then you would need some form of lubrication. But that's a Fifi.
I didn't need the details. I was good with just
prison
fleshlight.
Well, let me explain to you how to use it.
No, thank you. YouTube, don't listen.
I know all kinds of weird stuff. That's why.
But yeah, like nothing crazy. Like nothing that no like sex in the escape room. I'm trying to think of like I've had somebody almost kill themselves by sticking their pocket knife in a plug.
Really?
Yeah, so I progressively add things specific to rooms, the things that have happened. Like I've had people steal light bulbs. I've had people like take things apart that clearly shouldn't be taken apart. Like I thought common sense in the world was a lot higher than what it is.
Do what?
I thought like the common sense of people in the world is a lot higher than what it is.
No. Like George Carlin says, imagine how stupid the average American is and realize that half of the people are dumber than that. Right?
Yeah, and I've heard that and I've laughed at that. I was like, there's no way. Oh my gosh. Like I have a pretty low like standard coming from entertainment. Like I've worked at bars, I've worked at entertainment facilities. I work at Home Depot, so like you hear things. But like this is probably the worst it's ever gotten. And like I don't even know what would lead that to be a solution. And I didn't even know there was this plug in the room. Because this room is like in the dark, and I carry a flashlight. It's just easier for me to plug it in the hallway and run an extension cord.
Mm-hmm.
But Corona, I will tell you about a person that has. But it was just like I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, like I see a bright flash because the camera's in night vision, and all the doors and stuff in the room open. And like I just walk in and I'm like, what happened? And you guys like, oh, I thought that plug was fake.
And so I stuck something in it.
Yeah, so you stuck something metal in. Like I was kind of mad. Actually, I was very mad. And the guy's like, yeah, we weren't having a good time anyways. We're just gonna go. And I'm like, you saved me like 2 steps there.
Yeah, right.
And so like they left and like
hey, congrats! I was about to ask you to do the same thing.
Yeah, we went from see you, Mysticles. We went from point
thanks
A.
For hanging out.
Went from point A to point C without crossing B. Like
right.
Leaving. But I mean, the plug and everything still works. The plug's still there. If you really look at it, you can see the burn marks in it. But yeah, it was just. But yeah, like Crotto, I've had people demand a refund after I told them what the answer is. Because like there's an average time. If you look at our books, there's like an average time that people kind of spend on things, or you kind of get the feel for it over time. And everybody gets caught at different points. So you can look at like how much time they have left in the game, where they're at, where they need to be. And sometimes you chime in. These people are just not getting this puzzle. And I'm like, oh my God, like I can't explain it any more than I am without just giving you the answer.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what is the answer? As an example, like, what is the answer to this phone? And I'm like, I'm breaking them down how to solve this thing. And I'm finally like, how about you just try 1, 2, 3, 4? And they go to an entirely different thing and put that code in. And I'm like, I'm just burying my head in my hands. I'm like, oh my God, you asked me. This is the only thing you've been asking about. They're like, it's not working. How about putting it in the thing you've asked about? Is what I'm like, oh no, try it in the phone. And it's not working, and it's not working, and it's not working. And they're like, this room just doesn't work. And I'm like, hold on, let me come in there. And like I put the code in first try, and it works. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, homie, I think it's you that's not working. So, what do you think the percentage is of people that actually solve their room versus can't solve it
without getting any help? Like people going in there with no help on, let's say, a middle of the road room, which would be like Oval Office or Cabin Fever 2.0 at my 2 locations. Maybe only without any help, 40% would make it through.
Really?
Yes.
So let me finish eating my goober here. We've done a number of escape rooms. We've never received a clue, and we have finished every escape room we've ever done.
Like me, I could get through them. Like before I even worked there, like I would get through them. Like my first couple, I struggled with, but like I really overestimated what hard meant in some places.
So, and that's like my thing is now I've gotten really close to the buzzer on a couple.
Right.
But my biggest problem was that I was thinking way more complicated than the puzzle actually was.
Yes, that is the thing that kills people 90% of the time. I think my groceries are here. I will be right back. I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah. I'll be here. Bring me a snack. Uh-oh. Let's eat some chicken. Oh, look at that delicious premium chicken. Oh, Bill's doing good now. Eat that chicken, boy. So Corn Kid 64. No, I was thinking today that I was going to get it on Steam. Seriously. Just like an hour before I came down here. So it's definitely something I want to play. As much as I love Banjo and as much as I love collectathon games, especially for the Nintendo 64, that's right up my alley. You do know that it's getting released on Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo 64 expansion pack, right? Like in a couple days. I don't know if everybody knows that. Corn Kid 64, a brand new Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah, I saw that Corn Kids thing. I played Super Kiwi 64. The other one that's getting the controller support on the Switch.
Uh-huh.
I played that in Shipwreck 64. I never even heard of Corn Kids 64.
Platformer collectathon. I don't have the Nintendo 64 on my Switch. I don't need it, you know. I'm not gonna pay for that. I have every Nintendo 64 game. Like,
yeah, I thought it was free. Like I thought it was like the NES one. So like I got one of these. I've never used it. I've opened it and I was like, oh cool. I was like, I'm play like Mario Party 3 or Mario Party. That way I don't have to like burn out my controllers. And it's like, oh, you have to have this pass. I'm like, I'm not paying you all another.
What is it, like $20 a month or something?
I don't
$50 a year, I think.
Yeah, it's just the fact that I'm paying for something I already own again.
Yeah. And I just emulate all my Nintendo 64 games. I don't give a shit. Guess what? Corn Kid 64? I'll emulate that too. Nah, just joking. That's a new game, man. And I want the developers to get paid for it. I'll buy it off of Steam.
Should emulate it on something weird like an Atari.
So let's see what he wants. Not the shiny rock. Yeah, he wants the red berry.
So there's always 3 things that it can be.
On this level, yeah. Sometimes you get lucky and it's the first one you need, but you know.
Yeah. So that's a speed run killer.
So there is a major cheat to this game that I skipped over and didn't talk about. So the purpose of this game is to, well, the skill tree for the game is to level up your sword consistently, right?
Right.
And get these better and better swords. Now, the weapon you start with, let's take a look at that and pop that up on the screen. The weapon you start the game with is the dagger. So, whoop. So we'll look at the dagger. All right. So I have a dagger +1. You can bring it up to +99. Who gives a shit? What up, Mike? But the dagger can break. It just won't disappear because you have to have a primary weapon, and you could use a repair powder on it after it breaks. Right?
Okay.
There is a glitch that, done properly, at the gaffer's buggy only, you can get a broken dagger for free. The thing is, that broken dagger is an attachment and not a and not an actual weapon on its own. So you could put that on another weapon, and whatever weapon you put that on, it maxes out all the stats for that weapon. So I think it was a development thing that they created to test out the sword progression.
Oh, and they left it in.
Yes, I've been through this game dozens and dozens of times. I've only used it once on one sword, just because I wanted to try it and see exactly what it did because I had heard about it.
Huh. That's, I mean, that's,
It's cheating.
yes, but that's such a weird oversight.
Yeah, because if you look up glitches and cheats for this game, there is not much. Shizzle. I see you up there. Watch him. See the shadow on the ground? First, we got to take care of Thursday.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Oh, I got lucky. I got him in my backswing. And I got a chestnut. I jumped right over him. Put my nuts on his chest. Crazy. Sorry about that. That's probably inappropriate. Oh, I just heard a ding. I'm probably in trouble from somebody now for saying what I just said. Oh, you son of a bitch. Now you got to die. Or you were going to die anyway. So many cannibal plants, man. Come on. Give me a different enemy. Oh, maybe I shouldn't get too close. Oh, that was stupid.
Great camera angle.
Yeah. Hey, man.
They were still figuring this stuff out at this time.
Yeah. Early PS2, we was definitely still dealing with janky cameras. I have another bar of soap, right? Yep. There we go. That'll get that goo off. Oh shit, I'm about to die. Look at that. Bill needs some bread. Let's get this bread. That's not enough. Let's have another piece of bread. And the water. Now I'm feeling good. Now we out here. Torch acquired.
Back when the only way to fix a game was to remake and sell a new game. Yeah, but then what is it? Like Torok has like 4 versions because they kept fixing something and breaking something else. What
That's
game
how-
is it? Is it Torok? It might have been. There's something that did that.
Do what?
They were saying the only way to fix anything was to remake and sell a new game, and I was like, yeah, but then you got what was it, Torok? That's like 3 or 4 different versions because they fixed the glitch, and then something else happens, and then they fix that, and then something else happened. You got like a black cartridge, and then like 2 different gray cartridges.
Yep. There were mini games early because you couldn't patch it, obviously, that were released in unbeatable states.
The notorious Sonic Adventure, the Eggman stage,
Uh-huh.
which is the version I have.
Oh, I gotta fix her weapon. She got that wooden slingshot +7. I should start working on a different weapon for her, to be honest. because the wooden slingshot can only get so strong. No Mercy USA 1, absolutely. That game would delete your entire save file.
Oh, that's horrible.
The only way to get that fixed was to send it in, and they would issue you a new one. And it had the -1 on the label. And those are worth like $600 now? I don't fucking know. A lot.
What else is there? I know I got something else that's terrible like that. That has a horrible glitch in it.
Yeah. Oh, I have a mustache key. A mustache.
Is that one of the 3 items?
No, it's not. Remember on the first level how occasionally on a level they would have a locked door and you needed the bone key? And I made the joke that's what your mom called the key she gave me to her front door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in this level, it's the mustache key. You'll occasionally run into a locked door.
They can't do that to Superman 64. That game is perfect.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed that game. I'm not going to lie.
Can't get past the rings, dude. So I'll never know. Games with flying and swimming in it on Nintendo 64, those were like the bane of my existence. As much as I love Banjo Kazooie, Clanker's Cavern is the absolute hardest level for me because of all the swimming.
I didn't have issues with swimming. Flying was rough for me. So like Freezy Peak, where you have to hit the stupid little hats off the snowman.
Oh, I enjoyed that.
That was so hard for me. But like my issue, like in games, is when like swimming and stuff, fine. But even in 64 games, like if there's no bottom that I can physically see, like Banjo and Tooie, what is that? The weird place that has like the bad mumbo in it. Because I can't see the bottom, I get like really, really bad vertigo. It like makes me sick. So like I have a real hard time with those kind of games, especially anything that has to do with like space where there's no, you can't really orient yourself.
Right.
I can't do it. Superman 64 did not suck. There is worse games on the 64
than Superman 64.
I believe there is.
Name one. What do you think is worse than Superman 64?
In all truthful honesty, I think Vigilante 8 was horrible.
Oh, really?
Yes. But specifically the 64 version, what is it? There's the Dreamcast version of Vigilante 8, Second Offense, and PlayStation had Twisted Metal. Something else had a copy or a version of it. It's just bad. Like Superman 64, at least you can kind of make it do what you want. To me, Vigilante 8 was a really bad emulation of Twisted Metal. Like everything was sluggish. You couldn't really tell what was going on. It just, I don't know. Yeah, it was a Wish version of Twisted Metal that was bad. Like, people think Cell Damage is bad on the Xbox, but I think Cell Damage is really, really good.
All right, but hear me out on this. I don't know if anybody can convince me that Sculptor's Cut is even a decent game. It's an objectively terrible game. It's maybe not the worst game on the N64, but it's down there.
It's down there. I could think of fighters that are worse. I mean, you have like Dark Rift.
I like Dark Rift. I mean, is
just
it trash? Yeah, but sometimes I like trash games.
Well, yes. I don't. I think it's more of just people want. It's just so uncommon. Like the value of that game is not justified by the gameplay. It's one of those cases.
Right, absolutely. It's only worth the value because of its rarity.
But
and here's a weird thing is how rare is a game if you can buy any game at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some games you can look for them. They're not for sale. That's a hard game to find. Sculptor's Cut's easy to find. You could buy it anytime you want if you have the money.
Yeah,
somebody's always selling it.
Like, because you start getting into like PT, like you can't find that game anywhere. There's no physical copy.
Boy, I wish somebody would make a physical copy of that. Think about that. That would be awesome, right?
Oh, I would buy it in a heartbeat. Okay, I will say that now that you say that, it says any kid that loves Superman was pissed about Superman 64. I didn't like Superman. I also played that game way later, like way later, like here in like the last 10 years. So like my view of that game is very different. Like I'm sure if I got it and I was like a Superman fan as a kid and I got it, I'd be like, this is horrible. Same thing with like the South Park games. Like the South Park game's not great. If I was a huge South Park fan when I played it, it would have been bad. Same thing with Zelda. Like I'm sure when you played it when it came out, it was great. I don't think Zelda's that great.
Wait, which one?
It's all objective. Just Zelda series. I think the first two Zeldas, Zelda and Zelda 2 for the NES, are amazing. I love those two. I don't think the 64 Zeldas are good.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't. Okay.
You sound like a lunatic right now.
I don't. But we're not, because we could agree on things. You had to hit those games at a certain time in your life.
I guess so. I was 20, 21 years old. I didn't play Majora's Mask all the way through until I was older, probably 5 years ago. And I'm really glad I waited because I enjoyed it so much more. But Ocarina of Time, that was a game changer, dude. What are you talking about? It's the only game for like 20 years that scored a 10.
Okay, let me put this.
It's the highest rated game of all time across the board.
I respect the game. I'm not saying like, in me personally, I don't think it's good. But there's a lot of redeeming qualities, but there's also some things in that game that I think like people blow it for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think the game looks that good. Everything's very muted to me. And it like all Nintendo's games, like Super Mario 64, the Zeldas, are all very muted, like very plain looking. And everybody's like, oh, the graphics in this are amazing. I'm like, put it next to Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie is real bright, vibrant.
Oh, absolutely,
like,
Banjo.
Everything's real. And it's just like, then you got Zelda. It's like, here's some more green grass. Here's some more green grass. Oh, look. What is it? Gerudo Fortress. Now it's just a desert. Everything's brown. Like, they didn't have a lot of... And it's an ugly brown. It's not like Gobi Valley from Banjo brown. It's like poo-poo brown.
Doo-doo brown?
Yeah, and I think that's just like my issue. Like that's my main thing. Like it doesn't keep my interest because it's not cool to look at. And then there's like I said, back to the items thing. Like this one fixes that. Like you have unlimited item space. You had very limited item holds. There wasn't a lot of items. there wasn't really like what is it? There's the regular sword and the master sword. That's it. There's one other one.
No, the Begoran sword, the Megaton hammer.
Okay, well that's not a sword. Megaton hammer you have to use to beat. What is it? Dark Link.
Yes,
Or you cheat it, yeah.
that's
But it's just
the primary way to beat him.
I also think it's just like there was just so much blank space in those games where it was just you traveling. I don't know. Like, I think that's like it's all those things. Like those things are bigger to me than like gameplay. Like some of the puzzles in that game were weak. You had Water Temple that kind of
so
wasn't great.
I was 20 years old when Ocarina was released. There wasn't really an internet at the time. And I didn't have a strategy guide. And I would play Ocarina for about 2 hours a night after I got off work. You know? Mm-hmm. And I spent probably 2 weeks stuck on the Water Temple. It drove me insane. And there was no way for me to find out the information, right? Because there wasn't an internet. And the only way you can find something out is that, you had a strategy guide or you had a friend that figured it out, and I was out on my own. So.
Yeah, and I think maybe that has a lot to do with it. Like, most games, you have some kind of like, to be like an example of it. Outside of Gex. Gex was also a victim of doing this, where it just didn't explain something at all. And it was just like, it was a mechanic. It was a mechanic that you used, but they tied it to a puzzle that wasn't ever really like explained. It was like, oh, explore to find it, but I don't know how to explain that without sounding like I've never played. Like I've given those games fair chances. If I had to pick one out of the two, I pick Majora's Mask. But
so do you feel that you needed a little bit more hand holding? No, I don't mean that in an insulting way.
No. It just sounded funny. I felt like there was. They still tried. Here, this is how I'm going to explain it. In the first two Zeldas, there was like a lot of adventure. Like you had to kind of do things on your own. But that was like a time where that wasn't really figured out yet.
Right.
To me, by the time they hit the 64 Zeldas, because you also had the handheld ones, that should have been like they should have realized that adventuring in a 3D space doesn't translate that well. So there's just like so much that they didn't explain. They just kind of expected people to know, and I'm sure people that played the series from the get-go had no problem with. But the 64 was just so much like more readily available.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many more people had it. That shouldn't have happened, and that's like a strike in my book. Like they made those games for people that already like Zelda.
No way.
I know. This is totally an opinionated thing, and I'm sure someone's going to figure out where I'm at and come over here and punch me in the face. But it's just I don't know. I think it's just there's so many more of those type of games on the 64 that I'd pick up and play over it. But that I also don't think are that great. I don't know. It's just it ranks super low.
Next RPG is Shining Force. What up, Joel? I don't know how much longer I'm going to play because I would like to go hang out with my wife for a little bit. She was doing stuff though, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to go stream for a little bit." Come here Wednesday. All right, so you deal with these fucking turnips with the windmill. Otherwise, they fuck you up, man.
It looks like the thing for Pokemon.
You look like a thing from Pokemon.
What is the what is that thing?
Shut up, Snorlax.
I'll go get the Pokemon shirt out.
Dude, I think you can insult almost anybody by telling them they look like a Pokemon. But that's not the insulting part. The insulting part is when you specify which Pokemon they look like.
What is
So-
the thing called?
Joel, for instance, like I'm like, hey, Joel, you look like a Pokemon. That's funny. But it doesn't get hurtful until I'm like, dude, you look like a Diglett.
Diglett. He got no arms or legs. Just roll around in the dirt all day.
Basically just a fucking turd popping up. All right. Let's do. Oh. All right. I'm going to have to get wild up in here. Uh-oh. Yeah. Let me eat some bread, and then I'm going to come back at him. I got this. Look, this is what I need to do. You ready? Get this windmill. Try to get them all around me and windmill them all at the same time. I got two of them with it. Got him. All right. Whoa. Video game lover. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Tell me about it. Let's hear it. I'm interested in this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, LaShawn. You could say somebody looks like a Pokemon, but it's not insulting. It's at that point, it's funny. It's not insulting until you specify which Pokemon they look like. Anyway, VG58. Let's hear it, man. What happened?
Okay, that is who I was thinking.
What up, Bash? What up? We over here in the Wise Owl Forest. Just talking shit. Dylan's talking about people sticking knives in outlets at fucking escape rooms.
PlayStation 4 is catching on fire.
Yeah. This guy's a fucking menace. Oh, I'm running low on repair powder. Wait, what? So what were they saying in your Discord server?
I feel like we're having another Builtendo special brewing in the chat right now.
I made a video about 8-Bit Eric not too long ago.
That's why I had to like double check to be sure who we were talking about. I had to look. Oh yeah, it's that guy.
So here's the thing. Like I used to watch his content and I used to like it. But dude, like I try not to be a political person. And for the most part, I'm just like everything is for everybody and let's all have a good time. We all enjoy video games. So it's for all of us, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, it bothers me when people that are gatekeeping or excluding people from stuff. That really bothers me. And I've noticed over the last like year or so, maybe 2 years, 8-Bit Eric has gone down this anti-woke pipeline. And like all of his content is about how I'm not playing this game because they put these kind of characters in it. I don't play woke games. And like, dude, keep all of that out of gaming. Like, who cares? Like, my sons are 25 years old and they play games where the protagonist is a woman and they like play as the woman. If you get to choose your own character, sometimes they play as women. You know what I mean? Like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So it doesn't matter. Let's put, like, if you can have different options, let's have options because, you know, everybody wants to feel represented, you know, like not just me, chubby old white guys. Right? Anyway, that's my issue with 8-Bit Eric is he like screams all about this stuff about game woke gaming, and dude, that is so nonsense. Like, we all play games. Like, games have traditionally, you know, been a inclusive thing, you know.
Yeah, I don't. Destiny FOMO. Sorry, I keep seeing the chat pop up, and I keep getting distracted right before I talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like I had one friend that was originally like that, and I kind of broke him of that. Like eventually, I was like, dude, it's like, listen, like, you look at my character. Like in Assassin's Creed, I think every Assassin's Creed where I could have picked, even though I don't like Assassin's Creed that much, always played as a girl if it was an option. Just because it's like it's
why
something.
not?
It's something different.
Right. It's a different experience.
Yeah, and it's just like he was like, no, because I was like, dude, it's a make believe world.
Yeah, it's fucking not real, dude.
Who cares? Like, yeah. And eventually, like, I started doing that, and then like, he also played Magic. He was like, oh, they're putting all the. I was like, dude, like, it's a bunch of pieces of cardboard. Like, yes, I collect it. I know I spend a lot of money, but it's pieces of cardboard with art on it. Like, who cares?
Hold on. I don't know who Destiny FOMO is either. I don't know. Gatekeeping is something that really bothers me. Like, because I love video games, right? And I feel like as a lover of video games, that we should be trying to get everybody into our hobby. We shouldn't be trying to keep people out of it. Like, I want everybody to feel the way I do about games. You know, like, I enjoy playing them. They make me happy. And I want everybody to feel that joy in their life, or at least try it and see if it's for them and see if they do, because it's going to make some people happy. So gatekeeping really freaks me out because I don't understand the point of saying I enjoy this, but I hate other people that enjoy it slightly differently, you know?
Yeah, because like I personally, I don't like emulators. I don't.
Right. No,
but
and
at the
that's
same
cool.
time, I don't hate someone that plays on them. Like,
dude, all I play on nowadays, except for my Switch for the most part, is emulators because it's a good way for me to play. And I understand some people like to play only original cartridges on original systems and stuff like that. And cool, if that's the way you like to play, if that's what makes you happy, fantastic.
Right. It's just like I don't get it. Like I don't know.
Like, because emulators are not for you, you don't shit on them.
Yeah, like one of my friends plays on he has a modded PSP, and like I know someone that's just like, oh, he's not a real gamer. I'm like, why? Because I was like, first of all, I don't think that he's going to spend that much money to buy all this stuff that's on there if he wants to play. And I was like, saying, he wanted to play a game that's like $800. He wanted to play Chrono Trigger. Like, I totally get that.
So I have one of the things that really pushed me into building emulators is hold on, let me guess this trap. I'm gonna guess it's poison. Uh-oh. Kaboom, y'all.
I like
And
this mechanic. Sorry.
huh?
I just like that mechanic.
Yeah. So I forgot what I was even talking about.
You're talking about emulators.
Oh yeah, one of
Why
the
you
main
mental.
reasons I started building emulators is because I wanted to have access to games, and now I want other people to have access to games. Like just because, so if a game costs $800 and you want to play, you want an $800 game for your collection, that's fantastic, and I'm happy for you if it makes you happy. But no one should have to pay $800 to play a game.
Right. That's where I'm at. Like, I really want to play Rocky and Pocky. I know I can, or Pocky and Rocky. I know I can emulate it. But for me, more so than playing the games, is that thrill of finally getting it for me. That's where my thrill in gaming comes from.
Yeah, personally, I got past that.
I'm sure at some point I will too.
Um, some people do and some people don't. So for me personally, it had a lot to do with the fact that I've spent the last couple of years selling games, buying and selling, right? There is very little I have not owned. There's very little I have not touched. Um, I just got to a point where I'm like, I've owned everything I ever wanted to own, so I don't really care anymore about owning physical things. At this point, I just want to play games.
Yeah. And I will say this, and this is also why I'm not against emulators. Outside of physical copies, and even then they're limited, emulators are the only way to preserve a lot of these games.
Yep.
A lot of these games at some point are going to disappear. There'll be no physical copy, nothing. So that's also why I have no issue with them.
Right. But let's point out Mike and Tabby constantly flirting with each other in the
I
comments.
was going to ask.
They're married.
Makes sense. I figured it was something like that.
They can do whatever they want. I've been friends with her since 7th grade. She knew me when I was at my nerdiest, and I had very, very few friends. And it was not cool to be a nerd back then, right? So, years later, life goes on. As we get much older, we both been married. She marries Mike, and Mike turns out to be one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Just a nice guy all around. But Mike was the 100th member of our group, and we're at like 16,000 now.
Yeah, it's got a lot bigger since I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in there when it was like 1,300. Somewhere in there. Because I remember I used to only see like 4 people post.
Yeah. I wish more people would post in the group. I don't like that I post a lot, and it's like I'm 60% of the posting in there. I would like to be 10% of it, you know?
I would post more. But it's like a lot of times, like what I want to post, somebody's already talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I'll throw my hat in the mix and then disappear.
Yeah. Guys, I think I'm going to call it. Game is saved. We'll get back to it another time. I'm going to go spend some time with my wife. Dylan, thank you for hanging out, bro.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me, my friend. Maybe we'll do it again.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.
All right. See you, everybody.